I'm chilling today. I got my boy Mango and his new little lady friend over there, Papaya. You know, got him a new little lady friend. I got my glasses. I'm about to get at y'all. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. There's a dangerous kind of love that doesn't make somebody run towards you. Did you know that? You know what it does? It makes them run from themselves. There's a dangerous love out there like that. Because sometimes loving you would force them to admit that the way that they've been living can no longer work. It can no longer work. And that is why you need to be very careful when you say, I know that they love me. Knowing they love you does not mean that they know how to love you. A person can miss you every night and still be terrible for your life. We know this. They can stare at your name in their phone, right? They can type the message, they can delete it, they can put the phone down and wake up the next morning choosing the same behavior that pushed you away. Ooh. Y'all probably like, yes, that's so true. I know it. Feelings are powerful, but guess what? Feelings have never been proof of character. I'll tell you that much. Some of you have been giving people credit for emotions that they refuse to turn into actions. You keep on saying, I know that they love me. I know they love me. Okay. Then what is that love doing? Where does it live besides in their head? What has it changed? What has it made them confront? Now, if I get a little loud, Mango might start talking. Anytime I get a little loud, he will. Just want to warn you. Some people are fighting themselves because they know that they love you. But the fight is not always about whether they should come back. Sometimes the fight is about whether they are willing to admit why they lost you in the first place. You know what I mean? People would rather romanticize losing you than investigate themselves. We rather do that. It feels better to miss you. It feels better to miss you. It feels better to scroll through old pictures. It feels better to wonder who you're with now rather than to ask the one question. What did I keep doing to somebody I claimed I didn't want to lose? What did I keep on doing? They don't want to answer that question. Because now we're not talking about chemistry. We're talking about patterns. A lot of people don't have a love problem. You know what they have? They have an honesty problem. They know how they feel. They just don't like, what those feelings are asking them to do. Loving you might require an apology without an excuse attached to it. Right? Loving you might require consistency when nobody is threatening to leave. We always like to be consistent when they're about to leave, right? Loving you might require them to give up habits that they have protected longer than they known you. And that's hard to do. I get it. Let me tell you something. You cannot outlove somebody's commitment to staying the same. I promise you that. You cannot be so patient that somebody eventually just becomes honest. You cannot be so understanding that they suddenly just become responsible. It don't work like that. At some point, you have to stop treating your love like some type of rehabilitation center. No, don't do that. You are a person. You are a person, a human being, not a place where somebody gets to repeatedly hurt you while they figure themselves out. You're a person. And maybe that's the mirror in this message. While you've been studying them, have you asked yourself why their internal battle became your responsibility? Have you asked yourself that? These are good questions. Ask yourself, why are you losing sleep because another grown person refuses to make a decision? Why are you sitting in the audience watching somebody wrestle with whether they should treat you right or not? That is an expensive seat. And some of you have been paying for it with years of your life. The person fighting for you right now may genuinely be hurting. Yes. They may genuinely regret what they did. Yes. But guess what? Their pain does not automatically make them safe. You got to understand that. You got to keep that in your head. Regret is not repair, right? Just because you missed them doesn't mean that they're mature. Somebody watching your page at 2 a.m. is not the same as somebody being capable of building a life with you at 2 p.m. You know, we've gotten way too impressed by evidence that somebody is emotionally affected by losing us, right? They still watch me. They still watch me. Oh, they must care. They asked about me. They got jealous. Okay. But did they change? Because sometimes some people don't want to build a home with you. They just don't want anybody else living in there. And if you don't know the difference, you will keep returning to people because they demonstrated pain instead of demonstrating growth, right? You will keep on returning to those people. A person can literally cry over losing you and still not be ready to keep you. You know, they can call you the love of their life and still lack discipline that is required to protect a relationship. Grown love is not just intensity, right? It's a responsibility. It is the ability to say, because you matter to me, there are things that I can no longer keep doing because you matter to me. Not because you forced me or anything, not because you threatened to leave, but because my behavior should agree with what comes out of my mouth. That is why. Everybody wants grace from their mistakes. Everybody wants grace from their mistakes. Very few people want to stop repeating the mistakes that keeps requiring grace. Everybody wants, somebody patient enough to stay. Very few people ask whether staying with them is slowly destroying that person. And while they're fighting themselves, you can start disappearing. You stop saying what bothers you because you're tired of the argument. You stop expecting effort because disappointment hurts less when you see it coming. This is what I've been through. You start calling crumbs progress because something changed for 3 days. And then one day you realize that you became easier to mistreat just because, you want to make the relationship easier to maintain. I'll be honest, losing somebody hurts, but losing yourself while trying to keep somebody can cost you years. So maybe they are fighting themselves because they know that they love you, right? Maybe your absence is forcing them to hear truths that your presence kept covering up. But what are you doing while they fighting? Are you standing still? Are you keeping your heart on layaway or something? Are you waiting for somebody to win a battle that they have shown no commitment to fighting? You got to be careful with hope. Be careful with that stuff. Hope without evidence can turn into a waiting room. Waiting on the apology. Waiting on the phone call. Waiting on the day that somebody finally realizes what they had. And meanwhile, life keeps on moving, right? The birthdays keep on coming. Opportunities pass. And the person that you were waiting on is still confused. Man, at some point, confusion becomes a decision. I don't care what you say. When somebody has had enough time, enough conversations, enough chances to understand what losing you costs, continuing to be confused is how, they choose not to choose. That's how they choose not to choose. You don't have to hate them for it. You just have to stop volunteering to be the collateral damage of their decision or of their indecision. Some people are going to love you for the rest of their life from a distance that they created. And that's hard to accept. But love does not automatically mean access, my friend. Love does not automatically mean reconciliation. No, please don't fight right now. Man, these birds going crazy, man. I might have to get out of here. Be careful. Be careful is what I'm going to say. You can waste another year trying to collect payment from somebody who already shown you that they're emotionally bankrupt. Okay? I'll tell you that. Closure is not always somebody finally explaining themselves. Sometimes closure is realizing that you no longer need the explanation to make a decision. Maybe they change. Maybe they come back. Maybe one day they finally become everything that they kept promising that they would be. But you do not have to stand there while they figure it out. It's the main thing that I'm trying to say. You can love them and move. You can miss them and move. You can hope they heal and move. And if they never come back, don't listen for a better speech. Look for evidence. Their life should have evidence. Their habits should have evidence. The way they handle conflict should have evidence. Stop building futures with people who only exist in conversations. Words can create a beautiful house that behavior refuses to live in. And some of you have been homeless inside relationships built entirely out of promises. So yes, somebody may be fighting themselves because they know that they love you. But the lesson is not to sit around feeling special because somebody is struggling to get over you. The lesson is to understand that somebody can love you deeply and still be wrong for your life. That's the lesson. Somebody can regret losing you and still not deserve access to you. Somebody can fight themselves for years, but you do not have to spend those years fighting your own life with them. Maybe they win that battle, maybe they don't. I don't know. But you have a life to live. You have a life to live. I'm yapping right now, man. These birds, y'all don't see them, but they biting each other. And man, I gotta get out of here. If you are having a hard time with letting go, you can check out the ebook, Letting Go When God Says So. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.